Hello, this evening we will be talking about suicide. It is a portion of the movie, and if that is a subject that is sensitive to you and you do not wish to listen to it tonight, I perfectly understand. Here's your warning. Thank you for coming along. If it is an issue, feel free to listen to one of our many other episodes. If it isn't, then hopefully you enjoy tonight. Bye.
Wonder where it went. Why must time move on? Why must we grow apart?
Welcome to episode 51 of the almost said the wrong episode, almost said the wrong title of our show, the Final Picture Show podcast. I'm here with Travis.
Hey there, and I almost always get it wrong. So
there you go. Yep. It is a word that I need to get used to saying because we're gonna keep doing this every single damn week, and we're episode 51 with a new intro, a ska intro. Did you like to pick it up?
Yeah. Oh God, it made my little late '90s heart sore.
Yes. Did you catch the reference?
I'm usually all about references. I missed this one.
This is a very obscure one. I almost don't even want to say it. I want to see if anyone in any of the audience ever figures it out, but I'll just go ahead and drop it because it's not that much fun. The ska intro is from a song from the Johnny Tsunami soundtrack. There you go. There's some weird millennial deep cut for you.
Yeah, some early 2000s stuff right there.
Johnny fucking Tsunami, bruh.
Oh, God.
Speaking of Johnny fucking Tsunami, bruh, we're going to talk about M. Night Shyamalan's movie, The Happening, today, bruh.
Yeah, bruh.
Fucking bruh.
Great. I'm not going to lie to you, I'd rather talk about Johnny Tsunami than The Happening.
Than The Happening?
Or at least I'd rather watch it.
We can make we can do a crossover, right? The Happening 2, What's Happening with Johnny Tsunami, and just two universes you never expected to cross over.
Johnny Tsunami did have a sequel.
It did, but this would be another one that you never saw coming. What if Johnny Tsunami 3 took a hard turn into B-movie horror? Just a weird switch no one saw coming. He's in a competition. The other surfer drowns himself. What the fuck was that about? And then it goes from there, right? There you go. There we go. Now we're getting into things. So yeah, talk about The Happening. Before we do that, episode 51. We did 50 episodes. I have a new intro that I put together and edited up during my summer break here. I enjoyed it, so I put it out as a little bonus. And I thought, 50 new episodes, why not just change it up a little bit? Because
let's change
the clips from the intro are also going to be a lot of what we talk about in the coming weeks. So kind of spoilers for there. If you know some of those movies, then there you go. If you know, you know.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Knowing's half the battle.
Speaking of half the battle, I guess we should get into tonight's sign of the apocalypse, right? I don't have my little soundboard here, unfortunately, next to me, but I think we can easily say what the looming mushroom cloud of World War III hanging over our shoulders.
Yeah,
should be the sign of the apocalypse. The albatross that has become the United States' response to the Middle East for the last since World War II.
Well, I was pretty confident that they knew what they were doing, but apparently they don't know what the fuck they're doing. There's a quote. That is a quote. That has been on CNN.
Yeah.
This is where we're at.
I like, I didn't better say I like it. I don't like it. It's an awful situation. It's, but this is a reference that only one other person listening will probably get. But so when I was in elementary school, 6th grade graduation, right? We're going to 7th grade. They get us a speaker. It's a World War II vet.
Oh.
And he proceeds to, instead of giving us the You sixth graders are going to go and do great things. He proceeded to give us a warning about how we needed to stay in shape because World War III could happen any minute. And it was an intense speech that I know Jamie, who's listening, remembers distinctly because we always reference it to each other because both of us were there in sixth grade looking at each other like, is he supposed to be fucking telling us this? Like, why is he talking about this? This is like supposed to be a good job, kids. So
Yeah.
in that respect, I've kind of always had World War III on the...
Yeah. Good job and be terrified for life.
I was going to say, I've kind of always had World War III on the back of my mind since then.
Yeah.
Although, didn't necessarily see it happening this particular way with so many references to loads and cum shots and things being made.
God.
It was very weird. It was like the internet gets oddly sexualized for no damn reason.
Can I tell you something that's come to my attention?
What's that?
Is there's people that, and I don't, well, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised about this. People that are self-ascribed punks for Master Blaster.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Yeah. There's been a lot of that.
Well, and
which
I know
has always been a thing in the punk community.
I was going to say, in the punk community,
like, there's always been fucking fascist and bullshit in the punk
exactly.
community.
Like there's always, at first I was very horrified to find out about it, but then I remember, like you said, there's always been. I look back because I feel like we have a certain, what's the word? I don't know. We're somewhat, I don't know if we're tied to the punk world.
Affinity for?
Affinity, that's the word. And and affection also, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know, we find ourselves a little bit more on the punk side, a little less establishment.
Metal. I like music with an ethos.
Yes.
That's kind of my thing.
Because see, so I think the punk uniform is the problem that these people are doing. And that's like it's been in the past.
Yeah.
In the 80s,
it's
same
like
thing.
This, I mean, it happens like if you look at, I'm going to use an example. We're getting way off topic because this shows you how much we want to talk about this fucking movie. But if you look at a song like Minor Threat's Guilty of Being White, I'm using this example because this came up back when this song came out in the 80s. A lot of Nazi punks who Jello Biafra would tell us what to do with them.
Yep.
Co-opted that song, which is about like kind of a mixture of white guilt, but also like kind of having pride a little bit in your race, a little bit like in just misconstruing history a little bit. The guy that wrote it regrets writing the fucking song, but anyway, he wrote it. And the lyrics are basically like, I'm sorry for something I didn't do 100 years before I was born, bloody, bloody, blah. I'm guilty of being white, right? That's the premise of the song. And these guys took that song and have co-opted it for years. This happened before them, honestly, too. It goes back to the UK, back when you had the fucking Sex Pistols. Speaking of fucking fascists, there's another one right there.
Yep.
Not surprising there. The Sex Pistols were never a good punk band.
No.
Ever.
No.
Ever.
They were just fucking fashion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If they came out today, people, I was going to say, if they came out today, people would be immediately call them out. But back then, people,
absolutely.
Even people back then did. They were bullshit,
Yeah.
Now, his other band is a little bit better. Public Image Ltd. is is a whole different thing, right? I do like Public Image. I do not like the Sex Pistols, but be that as it may, they're an important band. But like I was saying, that those type of songs have always found a home with angry, disaffected white teens who will label themselves as punk. And this is happening within like the right wing community where you have like, being right wing is the new punk.
Yeah, it's punk to be conservative.
Yeah, pissing people off just to piss them off is not punk. Trolling is not punk. There's a whole like we could go on a whole like fucking hour-long discussion of what we define as being punk. But in my opinion, what is being punk is DIY. What we're doing here,
100%.
We don't have any editors. We get done. I fucking stay up and edit this shit myself.
That's right.
The artwork and all that shit, DIY. None of that shit. Used a little AI for some of the like top 5 countdowns and shit like that because otherwise no one would ever see them. But otherwise, other than that, everything else is pretty much made by hand. I think that's like a very punk aesthetic. Same thing with the metal community.
100%.
And then there's also the whole idea of like you don't sell out. Like you have like there are certain things that you just I'm not going to do that regardless of how much money I'm offered. Like, this is something that is worth more than money to me. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I like to go off of. I don't, there,
Yeah.
I can see how people like disaffected, angry white guys, teens especially, can take that music and look at it as being like, their calling card, but I think they're not paying attention to the lyrics, and they're just paying attention to like the anger instead of like listening to what they're actually talking about.
Exactly. And I think, I don't know, I feel like a lot of, see, and I'm not really in touch with like the youth anymore at all. I don't know how much like that, I guess, music and that movement and everything is still has any kind of violence to it, or anger, or
yeah, anything. It depends on like your areas and stuff like that. As a teacher, I've had a few students talk about punk music with me, but for the most part, they don't even know what they're talking about. They just call it emo. Or there's only been like, honestly, like in 10 years of teaching, there's only been like one or two kids who have surprised me with like their knowledge of punk bands, where I'm like, oh wow,
I was one of those awful
DRI
shitheads.
is. Oh, I did not expect to see that fucking DRI reference, or
When I was a kid, I was definitely a shithead about punk.
Yeah, well, it's so different now, because like when I was in high school, if a kid showed up to school and he was wearing a DRI shirt, you probably knew that he was into punk and metal, because otherwise he would have no idea who the fuck that band was.
Right.
Now, fashion and internet culture has taken over a lot of those things, so it's very normal now, like in the high school I teach at, to see a kid showing up to school wearing an Iron Maiden shirt who has no idea who Iron Maiden is, doesn't care about Iron Maiden, doesn't even like heavy metal, likes trap rap, actually has no interest in metal music, just liked the shirt because of the trooper design and all that, thought it was cool looking, bought it for that, or paid probably an enormous fee online for it, when I'm like, I got like 3 of them sitting in my fucking closet, right? But I find that part of it interesting, and that's the difference, I think, between like millennials and Gen Z, and like as a big way, is a lot of like their fashion, a lot of what like we used to wear as like a representation of the things that you liked, kind of wearing your influences on your sleeve, has now kind of been just co-opted. And like Nirvana and the Misfits are some of the biggest notorious examples.
Yes,
where it's not uncommon to go to fucking Walmart and see a Misfits T-shirt.
That's fucked up.
It's not a band anymore. It doesn't have any association with it, right? There's no connection to. If we want to get into like Baudrillard and the sign and signifier, and some French philosophy here, the sign and signifier have completely deviated from each other. They no longer have any connection. One is not representational of the other. We're going off on an 11-minute tangent. Let's get back to what we're here to talk about, which is the end of the fucking world.
Oh, yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan made a movie about the end of the world once. It's called The Happening.
And this one's plant-friendly. So
plant-friendly, vegan appropriate. Yeah.
It's a vegan apocalypse.
This, honestly, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Coming out on June 13th, 2008. Another one that we just barely missed on doing it on the day of.
Oh, yeah.
We are recording here on June 24th, so just 11 days late. Directed by M. Night Shyamalan, like I said, who is, of course, the writer and the director for almost all the movies he's been involved in. He has, I don't want to say like a little pyramid scheme, but he has kind of like a whole little way he's able to make money from his movies, even if they don't necessarily make a lot of money in theaters. And that is because he does pretty much everything in-house. Like, he's the writer, director, his wife is the producer. He does the camera work. He does kind of everything. He's kind of like a one-man show almost. He does a lot. So a lot of his movies have like a real deep connection to him. And do you remember way back in the day when I used to send you Christmas gifts of random shit I would find? And I sent you the DVD about him?
Yes.
Yes. This DVD I sent to you. Do you remember the name of it? I think it was like The Genius of M. Night Shyamalan or something like that.
I think it was something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a VHS or a DVD of him just discussing like what his movies meant about his faith. He's a very religious guy, if you did not know.
Oh, I could believe
he's a very religious guy. There's a reason that faith plays a large role in a lot of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a very spiritual dude. And I think that was part of the DVD. That was like him talking about like his spirituality, but also like how deep all of his movies are. And yeah, it was very silly. It was before his career kind of crashed and burned. But
it was when people still called him a genius.
Yes, right. Yeah, the genius. So did Sixth Sense, which Sixth Sense is a pretty fucking good movie.
It's pretty fucking good. And I will say Unbreakable.
I was going to say Unbreakable, the next one, is probably my favorite of his movies.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, Gen Zers, if you're listening, which, speaking of listening, our sub count on YouTube has gotten up to 122. Thank y'all for coming along. And I don't know why, but for some reason in the last couple of days, we have gotten a heavy influx of viewers from Romania. So, hi, thank you for coming from Romania.
Hell yeah.
Can we come to your country?
Yeah, seriously. I speak zero Romanian.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I got time to do it, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Unbreakable is an amazing movie. I was going to say, if you've never seen that, Gen Z listeners or if people from Romania, you should check out Unbreakable. It is maybe the best, like, I want to say maybe like the best superhero movie ever made, honestly.
I think so.
You don't even know it's a superhero movie, and for most of it, you would not know that. Like, if I didn't tell you that going in, you wouldn't go into it thinking, like, this is a superhero movie. But it kind of becomes one.
And it's my third favorite movie with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
because, of course, before that would be Pulp Fiction and Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I was going to say, Die Hard with a Vengeance is up there. That's a fantastic movie with them together in it. Yeah. This one's also good. Yeah, they're a good pair together.
Yeah. If they're both in the movie, it's probably good.
Yeah, so he would follow Unbreakable up with Signs, which was another pretty good movie. Joaquin Phoenix, Mel Gibson. My wife and I disagree on this movie. She does not like it. I saw it in theaters as a kid, and I remember the movie, like, I remember liking it, and I actually owned a copy. I bought it on Blu-ray. I think Signs is a good fucking movie.
This is one of those embarrassing things. I had a panic attack in the theater and had to leave.
It's genuinely creepy. Like, there's some legit, like, creepy-ass moments in Signs.
Yeah. Well,
like, it definitely puts you in that feeling of, well, yeah, I was going to say, it definitely puts you, but that's one thing he does. He's very Hitchcockian in that he does a good job at times when he wants to of making you feel really fucking unsettled. Like, it really bothers.
Even watching it now, I still kind of get that feeling.
Oh yeah, there's some parts.
It was enhanced because of
it's like the way he does. It's the way he uses the camera, the way he does pacing, the way he does music, all of that. Like he's he's a good fucking director. Yeah, he's a good fucking director. His first three movies, these aren't his first three movies. He actually did a movie before Sixth Sense, but no one ever talks about that one anyway. I've never seen it. I know it was like a short movie he did by himself, virtually by himself. Anyway, so he did those three and was really kind of flying high, looking like the next Hitchcock. And then he hit a little bit of a low count here. He did Village, which was not very good. I didn't like Village.
Not very good.
The twist is just kind of stupid, and that he kind of became known for like the twist ending here now.
Yeah, honestly,
with that one, that was the first one that kind of became like his big, like, oh, he's known for twists, like, you know.
That one could have been an interesting premise, but I don't know why it fell so flat. I was just like, wait, what? You know, like,
I think a lot of it is some of his casting kind of starts to become a little questionable here. Because same thing with this movie. Like, if you recast this movie with different actors, it's probably fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, John Leguizamo is the best part of this movie by a country mile. God. Replace Zoe Deschanel and Mark Wahlberg with two actors who can actually do a performance and look like a believable couple. You probably have a fine little movie.
Oh, man. The lack of chemistry.
Mm-hmm. The most, like, two people who should never, like, they wouldn't go grocery shopping together, let alone be married or be engaged or whatever the hell's going on. I think
they're married.
They are married. Remember, because John Leguizamo was like, she cried at the wedding.
Oh,
Take
yeah,
my daughter's hand unless you fucking mean it.
God, that's a really good John Leguizamo.
Is it? No, it's not.
Well, I think you kind of have that rasp that he has also. So
I love John Leguizamo. He's one of my favorite actors.
Awesome.
I grew up watching his. I was gonna say I grew up watching his stand-up in the past back in the day.
Yes, his stand-up is so funny.
His stand-up is basically like a one-man show because it gets fucking deeply emotional at times. Like he'll just go from being like telling jokes to like making you cry. Like
absolutely.
that. He's very, very good. I love John Leguizamo. If I could ever make a movie, my two leads would be John Leguizamo and Clifton Collins Jr.
Oh,
And that would be a fucking good movie. I don't know what I'd have them do. Maybe just go to Dunkin' Donuts together, but that'd be a fucking sick-ass movie.
I would dig the shit out of that.
So he did, back to M. Night Shyamalan. After Village, which kind of was a bust. He did Lady in the Water, which was a big bust. A lot of people did not like that movie. Yeah, same. It's okay. It's not very good. You're not missing much if you've never seen it. Yeah. I didn't see it in theaters. It was one I didn't care for. The Village I did see in theaters. At this point, So I used to go to the movies with my dad all the time. And Sixth Sense we saw in theaters, Unbreakable we saw in theaters, Signs we saw in theaters. So at this point, it was like, he does the movie, like, we're going. And then The Village was that last one that it was like, oh, all right, well, yeah, it was not the one.
The steam ran out real quick on that one.
Yeah. So after Lady in the Water is when we come into The Happening, which would start a little bit of, I guess, Lady in the Water or The Village, depending on if you like that one, kind of begins the descent of his career for a little while before he has another uptick later on. But Lady in the Water, then he would do The Last Airbender right after The Happening. Oof.
I saw that one in theaters, by the way. I went with a buddy of Frank. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, yeah. Frank.
He the whole time, because Frank was really into the cartoon show or the anime. Sorry if people don't like calling it
I like calling it a cartoon. That'll piss some people off.
Well, I like calling anime cartoons. I like cartoons. Anyway, I also call manga comics. Get over it. Anyway, yeah, piss everybody off. Let's do it. But the alienate. But he just kept leaning over to me during the movie, and we were watching it in 3D, which was kind of cool. But he just kept leaning over, and he's like, "They fucked this part up." So it was pretty cool. It was like I was getting commentary in the middle of the movie. It was nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
After Last Airbender, he would follow up with another bomb, maybe one of the worst movies of all time, a movie that we will have the great pleasure to talk about at some point. Ooh. And that would be Will Smith's Vanity Project After Earth, which is a movie everyone forgets M. Night Shyamalan directed.
That's right. Well, that's because Will Smith mostly directed it.
basically. But
he
does get credit.
I had
to
fight a gag reflex when you said After Earth. I was like, oh,
that's a bad movie. That's a bad movie.
So bad.
Would then do the Visit, Split. Split was okay. Split was kind of like his first one back into like actually being a good movie. James McAvoy is really good in that. Plays like a weird serial killer type dude. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, that's the saving grace, is that he's awesome.
Yeah, he saves that movie.
Oh yeah, and I came to that one very late, but I did like it when I finally watched it.
Then he did Glass, which was a follow up to Unbreakable, which was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah,
it felt. Okay. I don't know. It felt like it was jamming things together. It was like forcing puzzle pieces to go together. It's like, these don't fit, man. Just stop trying. You're bending it. Like
Then he would do a decent little movie called Knock at the Cabin, which is Dave Bautista. It's an okay little film.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's okay.
It's not too bad.
Then he would do two bad movies, which is where we're up to currently, which was Old and Trap. And Trap is one of my best worst movies that has come out recently.
I never actually saw it, but I know
right now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's on Max.
It's,
yeah.
I know, they, it was basically just a movie to get his daughter singing out there, right?
Yeah, so, the premise is Josh Hartnett is a serial killer. This is not a spoiler. You know this going in. He's a serial killer, and he's taking his daughter to what is basically like a Taylor Swift concert. And at the Taylor Swift concert, though, is actually an undercover sting by the police to trap him because they know that one of the dads here at the show is the serial killer. So they're going to trap him and then Josh has to try to figure out how he can get out of the trap while also not letting his daughter know that he's the serial killer. And yes, the concert, this is the fucking movie. The concert is performed by a Demi Lovato surrogate named Lady Raven, who is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Yes. And every single song she performs has some kind of commentary on the story and what's going on.
Oh God.
And she's just not in it as a concert. She is in it. She is one of the she's probably, other than Josh Hartnett, she's the second biggest character in the movie.
Yeah, that
And
makes
it's
sense.
the second half of the movie, she's the biggest character of the movie. So it very much is like a vehicle for his daughter to, like, hey, here's all the music she does, and she does all the music. You get to hear, and you don't just hear snippets of songs; you hear entire songs, like 2-3 minute long performances in entirety.
Oh God.
It is, and M. Night Shyamalan's in the movie. He's in all of his movies.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in that one too. And yeah, The Trap is one of those movies that I think will go down in history as being so bad it's good, because it is just gratuitously, stupidly indulgent with M. Night Shyamalan, just doing all of his nonsense. Where it's like, oh, there's a twist at the end, and you get all these like ridiculous setups, and the performances are a little over the top, and like,
Oh God, the performances in these movies. I don't know what his directing style is to actors. I need to figure that out.
I imagine it's like Baby Billy from Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah,
where
which,
just
by the way, I finally watched that 4th season.
Yeah, did you see Baby Billy's directing style? Because that would be my style. All right,
Well,
y'all
that's
act good
good,
now. All right, y'all act good now. All right, roll camera. All right.
This is dangerous.
Damn it, Teens.
I need to quit playing a realistic team and pulling it off. Anyway,
Speaking of cast, let's get into the cast of The Happening. Mark Wahlberg plays our lead, who we spent last week talking about a lot.
Yep.
And we will have a bonus episode where we talk about him even more coming out in a couple of days. So
awesome.
We'll just... Actually, that came out already, so we'll let people...
there we go.
We'll let people rest on the Mark Wahlberg discussion. Instead, we'll talk about his co-stars here, of which there's a couple worth talking about. Yeah. Zoe Deschanel is the kind of the big one here. She's in, obviously, the indie folk group She and Him with Mr. M. Word there from all his stuff. She was also in New Girl, which was a television show that annoyed the crap out of me, and I stopped watching.
Oh, I've never seen one episode.
She was kind of insufferable after a few episodes.
Really?
Yeah, she plays kind of this kind of character again and again and again.
Yeah,
and,
yes.
Yeah.
I think the only time I liked that character, which I've seen her in a bunch of things.
Yeah, and she's not always this. She's just this in a lot of things.
She's Well, in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I think it was my favorite of hers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's good.
I like that one a lot. Yeah,
she was in 500 Days of Summer. That one's kind of okay.
See, I haven't actually seen.
A little overrated for like it was like a big indie movie that was kind of hyped up, and it's okay, but like it's just a romantic comedy that's a little bit more honest but not like not forthrightly honest about relationships and stuff like that. Just kind of like took some of like the isn't it all happy falling in love thing out of it, kind of like that. It's a movie about two people breaking up instead of falling in love.
Oh Lord!
She was also in Your Highness, which is a kind of a funny little sword and sorcery take from. Yes, she plays the other queen that they're trying to go rescue that Natalie Portman is having to help them with. Yeah.
See, the only thing I remember is Natalie Portman like trying to throat that necklace that.
Yeah. She's on
for
that
some
too.
reason that's the only thing I can remember.
She was also in Elf and New Guy.
Oh,
There's
that's
little old movies back there. She was also in Almost Famous back in the day.
Oh, she was in the. I didn't know she was in Almost Famous though.
Yeah, she's in Almost Famous. I think she's one of like the little groupies that is traveling around for a little while there.
Right.
And she was also in a TV show on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the day called Tin Men, which was actually really, really cool. I like that one a lot.
That's
she was
right.
in that one.
I did like that one.
Yeah, she was in good.
Yeah.
She was good that one.
Yeah, there's a lot to
other characters here. Yeah, other characters here we got John Leguizamo, who like we talked about already. Then Spawn, Summer of Sam, Romeo and Juliet. He was great in Romeo and Juliet. Holy shit!
He was kind of my favorite part, honestly.
He's the best part of Romeo and Juliet. Him as Tybalt he's amazing.
He's
amazing.
Oh man, like
amazing.
Before that, I've seen his stand up one man shows, The Pest, and then he does that, and I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's an actor. Right. He's good.
Yeah. I liked Romeo and Juliet. I watched the movie a lot growing up, and I haven't seen it a lot now, but
no,
I remember as a kid liking it. It was fun.
Yeah, I really liked it. I mean,
it had some good moments. I liked it.
I think my English teacher at the time. Hey, speaking of,
oh yeah, it's an easy movie to throw on. It's an easy movie to throw on.
Well, he was talking about. He had this whole thing. He's like, Well, I don't. He had a commentary about Claire Danes not being as attractive as the like Juliet in the '60s, and I was like, "What? She's fine."
Supposed to be a fucking child, you creep.
Well, yeah, I was like, I'm like, I think she's attractive, but I'm also like 15, so
Weird discussion to have.
It was
with
weird,
your teacher.
It felt weird. I was like, why are
like
you?
I thought you were going to
up?
be like he's going to point it out and be like, now do you see that this is Shakespeare making a subtle reference to the Greeks? Instead, you were just like, no, Claire Danes, 6 out of 10. Would not bang. Like, what is your teacher talking about? What the fuck is going on in this classroom?
It was a very small town in Texas.
This is why I shouldn't be in charge of schools, because I would just walk in and be like, "The fuck is happening here? Like, we need to separate these kids and maybe take them to gym or something."
And when we get into the plot, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about the interrelationships. Yes, I am.
Okay. We got John Wick 2, who he was also in. He plays a big role in that one.
Yes, that's right.
Menu. He was also in Kick-Ass 2. He kind of plays a very similar role as he does in John Wick 2.
That's right.
Which is kind of funny. He was in Ice Age. That's probably his biggest role for millennials and Gen Zers out there.
Yeah, that's right.
For his voice acting. He made a shit ton of money in that.
Nice.
My favorite movie that he's in is Tu Wong Fu.
Oh, God, he's so good. And kind of a hot chick.
Yeah, yeah. If you've never seen Tu Wong Fu, y'all should watch Tu Wong Fu. More movie recommendations. There you go. Tu Wong Fu. If you, that movie's a fantastic movie.
Anything other than The Happening.
I almost don't even want to tell people what it's about, just because, like, if you're I feel like that movie's a good test movie, right? If you're a decent person, you will love that movie, and if you're not, you'll be immediately turned off by the subject matter, and it's like, oh, you failed the test. There you go.
Well, which side do you identify with? Are you on the good side, or are you the villain side? So, it's actually very true to life.
Yeah, right. Other actors that we get here, some people worth mentioning. Spencer Breslin, who would show up in a couple other M. Night Shyamalan movies as well.
Yep.
Frank Collison is here. He's the one who constantly asks if we like hot dogs. And
the guy with the similar facial hair like I have similar facial hair, except now it's like really long.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The top part looks the same, I think.
And the last guy I wanted to mention was Alan Ruck, who plays the principal. Alan Ruck is the actor who, if you've seen a bunch of movies, you will see a bunch of Alan Ruck. He was in Speed. He's Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
Star Trek Generations, Twister. He's in a ton of movies. The list goes on and on and on.
I have a hard time. I think, was he in Succession or something? I never actually saw it.
He might have been. I was going to say, I haven't seen Succession. That was one that
I think somebody was talking about it to me. But
wouldn't surprise me if he was, though. He's in a ton of things. He was in Stella. He was in one episode of Stella. There's an old, great TV show that no one talks about.
Stella, like
the comedy show on
Michael's. Michael Showalter, Michael, Ian Black, and David Wayne.
Yeah, that's right. Michael's.
I love Stella.
That show's great. That show is a fantastic movie.
If you ever more recommendations, this one's not on. It was never on TV or anything. It's only a YouTube video, but their pizza sketch.
Oh
pure
yeah,
art.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite things.
Very, very funny. Yes, that's hilarious.
I love it.
Let's see. The other thing that he was in that was worth talking about. I'm trying to find the title of it. I can't find it. Maybe it's been removed from his credits, but I swear there was a TV movie that came out after Speed where he is in it about like another car that can't slow down, where he's the star. And the only reason he's in it is because he was also in Speed. But I'm like looking through his IMDb and I'm like, I can't fucking find it. And I'm like, God, I know there was like a TV movie I thought that he was in, but
maybe know what you're talking about.
I'll have to check it out later and see if he's in it or if I'm just dreaming it. So yeah, there's our cast. Alan Ruck is where we'll stop. Here's a little bit about the background. Not much of here. This movie had kind of a simple production in that M. Night Shyamalan really wanted to make this movie. Had a hard time getting it funded. He did. He had a hard time getting it funded because he was kind of coming off of some busts back to back. But eventually he was able to get the funding and was able to get it made. Cost Cost $48 million, had an amazing trailer.
What?
Yeah, $48 million here.
I guess
If you remember the trailer when this came out, because I remember the trailer was fucking amazing. Like, it was a movie that hooked you in by just the trailer. Now, the trailer it's basically the first, like, 30 seconds of the movie where everyone starts dying.
Okay, I might remember this.
Yeah, and then you were just like, oh, shit, what the fuck is this movie? And then that is kind of, like, done in the first 30 seconds. And so it's like, well, all right then. The movie is based on some levels of real science, and I say that in air quotes, real science, in that he literally just takes full text from like a biology textbook, it sounds like, and just drops them into characters' dialogue sometimes. I don't know if that's what he did, but God, it sounds like it.
Yeah, well, don't you know those textbooks? I mean, they just write whatever they're thinking is happening, and they just put it in there. I mean, real scientists just they know that anything's possible. That we can't know anything. It's all mysterious. And,
the world's a mysterious place. This movie was written with Mark Wahlberg in mind. So Mark Wahlberg was always the first choice. There was always Mark Wahlberg. Yes. Mark Wahlberg regretted being in this movie. He said that at the very least he wasn't playing a cop or a crook, but he regretted being in it.
Honestly, I think he should stick to playing cops and crooks.
Which he would go back to largely.
Yeah.
His co-star, Zoe, she loved it. She said this is one of her favorite movie productions she's ever been a part of.
Really?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Loved it. Mark was not the only cast member that didn't like it. I was going to say, Mark was not the only cast member that didn't like it. Other people, the woman they run into at the very end of the movie who takes up like basically the last half of the movie. Yeah. I forget the actress's name. She also did not enjoy this movie. She said she thought it was not very well made when it came out and was kind of regretted being in it. And
I mean, she's basically a joke it's just out of nowhere. But
yeah. So M. Night Shyamalan, this is where it kind of gets a little confusing because he said that he started saying this before the movie came out. So I don't know if this was the intent or if this was, I finished watching what I made and now I need to shape the narrative. But he has maintained for years that he set out to make a B movie in the same vein as like The Blob, Birds, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, things like that. Right? Boy. So that was his goal. So in that respect, he considers this movie to be largely a success because it is kind of like an expensive B movie. Like I said, cost $48 million, made $163 million.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So it did make movie. It did make some money. So that was good.
That's something. That's more than I expected.
Yeah, right. So in one respect, it is kind of like he had this goal in mind of making it this way. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was always the intent from the start of the movie. The fact that some of the actors kind of regret being in it makes it seem like maybe they didn't know they were signing up for like a B movie extravaganza.
Oh, right.
I don't know if that's the case. I honestly have no idea. But it seems like he at least maintains that he was always looking to make a classic B movie like he grew up watching and loving, like The Blob, like I said. We've reviewed a few of these. Yeah. And so in that respect, I guess mission accomplished because you did what you wanted to do. Yeah. But those movies didn't cost this much money, so there's that. And this movie has gotten a little bit of, this will be the last like background before we take a break and get into the plot. This is like a movie that has undergone a little bit of like reevaluation. And this is interesting to watch just in our lifetimes. Because I remember when this movie came out, it was immediately like shitted on. Like people like my friends always made fun of it.
Yeah.
The people that I knew that went and saw it in theaters came back telling me how funny it was. And I was like, okay. Like, it was one of those kind of movies. It was like, it's so bad, it's good.
Yes.
Now people are trying to push the idea that it's actually just a good movie. And anyone that says it's bad is like misunderstanding it. I don't agree.
I can't agree.
Yeah. So
I really tried there for a second. I really tried to sort of see it.
It's not like the worst movie ever made. It's not even his worst movie. He's made worse than this. God, well, Airbender is way worse than this.
Oh, so much worse.
And I know people that fucking like Airbender. So, like, it's, whatever. But,
there's
their own
performances
cinema.
I like in Airbender, but...
This movie does the task of taking an actor that I kind of have an affinity for. Marky Mark and Zoe and John Leguizamo, all three of them, I like in different things in different ways. It makes all three of them immensely unlikable.
Oh, absolutely.
By like halfway through the movie, I'm like, I want all of you to die.
Yeah.
Like, all of you. Let the kid Jess take over on her own. She's the star now. Like, let the rest of you die off. Like, fuck all of you. But yeah, no, that doesn't happen. Instead, what happens is what we're about to talk about. Is we get into the plot of the happening. But before we do that, I forgot almost. We got to do Travis trivia. We can't can't go without that.
No.
So this movie came out on June 13th, 2008. Top 5 songs in the country. Some of these people are still very popular. One of them is not. Most of them are rap or hip hop pop kind of things.
Yeah.
One of them is like a U2 ripoff. There you go. I'm going to say they're like a U2 ripoff. Number 5, any guesses? She just went to space.
Oh, Katy Perry.
Yeah, any guesses on what her big song was in 2008?
2008, was it I Kissed a Girl Yet?
That was it. I was going to say that was the first one. Yep.
I wasn't sure how early that started. I didn't realize it was...
I guess it was 2008 when we jumped aboard the Katy Perry train, and it's been a rough couple of years. Yeah. Next up, number 4. She is a hip hop icon, like I guess I would call her. She's done a lot of hip hop pop songs.
Yeah.
She is not from America, but is known for being very popular here.
Oh, well, I'm gonna say. Oh, I could be wrong. Iggy Azalea was that?
No, not quite Iggy Azalea yet.
I don't think you're gonna call her an icon. But I took a stab.
This girl has like her own clothing, her own lingerie, her own makeup line. She's got like a bunch of stuff.
And not from the U.S.?
No. At least, I don't think she is. I think she's from a different country. I could be wrong.
If I may have never actually known that then. Because I'm not sure.
It is Rihanna with Take a Bow.
Oh, that's right. She's not from. That's right. She is not from the U.S. She's from Barbados, right?
Something like that. I think so.
I think so.
I didn't want to say because I was like, I have no idea. I know it's not here.
Can I tell you the only reason I know that is because I watched that Amazing Race show and they were in, I think, Barbados. And the big thing that they went to was Rihanna's childhood house. So
nice. Number 3 is a overtly serious U2 kind of ripoff band that is from the United Kingdom.
Oh,
they were big in the 2000s.
God, I can't even I'm stuck on U2 ripoff.
I think they were a U2 ripoff. I don't really like U2, but this band I think is no, I'm not a big U2 fan.
It's okay to be wrong. I like you too, but I'm
wrong. I'm good to be wrong here. This is Coldplay with Viva La Vida.
Oh gosh, I hate Coldplay. I just don't talk about them at all.
So number 2, I can't give you really any hints on because I do not remember her at all. If she's still around, she might be popular. I'm not sure. Leona Lewis with Bleeding Love.
I remember that one.
Yeah, I don't remember that song at all.
Yeah,
if I hear it, I might remember it. But
you would recognize this song. Probably it was on, especially if you worked in any kind of retail. You heard this song.
And the number 1 song in the world at this time is a hip hop rap classic from the 2000s. If you were making a playlist of rap songs from the 2000s, you would have to include this one.
Oh, any hints on the artist?
He's from New Orleans.
Oh God. I guess I acted like I would know. Well, okay.
He goes by Little. I was
going to say, was it Lil Wayne?
It is Lil Wayne. It is Weezy himself with Lollipop, one of his big hits. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
There you go. So we're gonna take a little bit of break and come back and talk about the plot of The Happening. See what's happening and find out. Do you guys like hot dogs? We'll be right back. Break. Next week on the show, we will talk about
drumroll
Rollerblade.
No.
From 1986. 2 words: Roller Blade.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever heard of this movie before?
No.
Okay. Well, you're in for a treat. I'll tell you that much. We're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff. Donald G. Jackson, Scott Shaw, what the fuck Zen filmmaking is, and all kinds of nonsense next week on the show.
Awesome.
So stick around for that. We are back from the break, and I was wrong. Our lovely character from The Happening, Mr. Alan Ruck, is not in a Speed ripoff. That was actually Judge Reinhold I was thinking of. Judge Reinhold is in a TV ripoff of Speed called Runaway Car from 1997. Would you like to know the premise of Runaway Car? This is definitely going to be a now for something completely different of the future.
No, awesome. I would like to know.
3 people find themselves inside of a car, and its brakes don't work. That's it. The brakes don't work.
Oh, that's it? I thought...
That's it. That's it. That's it. The brakes don't work. That's it. If you grew up in West Texas, this happened to you several times, probably.
Oh,
I don't know how many times I found myself in a car and my friend was like, oh, brakes don't work. And I was like, well, shit, here we go. But you know what didn't happen? It didn't blow up. No one made a movie out of it.
God, that, yeah, I do.
Usually you use the emergency or you just slow down, put your hazards on, find something to bump against. It's not like you just die.
Oh, God.
That's the movie they made.
Amazing.
Yeah, the brakes don't work. I'm sure there's more to it than that. I'm sure.
I hope.
Possibly not. I don't know. It's a made-for-TV movie from 1997.
Someone saw
we'll
Speed and they were like, well, we got to do something like that.
Exactly. Someone saw Speed and was like, well, shit, we need to make that one. Oh, speaking of shit, let's get into the plot of The Happening. We start with clouds, which goes on for much longer than it needs to, as we get the entire cast until it eventually becomes dark clouds. Ooh, ominous, spooky. Yeah, laying it on a little thick. M. Night is there.
Oh yeah.
We then cut to wherever the fuck we were, to New York City, where we're in a park and everyone is having a little. Well, eventually we have a little stabbing party. And then that kind of leads to more people dying, and the first 10 minutes are kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, now I will say it does start out with some very insane, like, the whole movie is insane delivery, but...
Oh, yeah.
This really sets it up where the lady is like, those people are just, I don't know what she said, those people are doing something over there. Well, let's look at all that blood. And I think when they look over, I was like, I don't think I see anything going on. I think I just see people walking around. Like, am I crazy? Like,
the performance is the first thing you notice about this movie, that all of them are bad. Nobody acts like a human being in this movie.
No.
And I feel like this is when he changed his idea, that, like, upon editing it, he just was like, oh, I fucked up. But if I say it's supposed to be bad, then everyone will be like, oh yeah, the performances are, look how bad they are.
Yeah, look, what a genius.
It's like, did he mean it for it to be this weird? Because everyone is giving the weirdest fucking performance they can.
It's so weird. Now, it makes sense because they go all disoriented, so whenever the one girl sitting next to her just keeps repeating the same thing about the book that she's reading, like...
Yeah.
It makes some sense there, but it's really it's kind of weird and confusing.
Yeah, well, later on they'll mention that, like, the first sign is like slurred speech, and you start saying weird things, and then you kill yourself.
Yeah, and then people start walking backwards for some reason.
I guess that's part of being disoriented.
I guess, and like not all of them do it. Just some. No.
Some of the people do different things. Like the soldier's like, "This is my rifle. This is my gun." You know, he does all that whole shit.
Yeah, he does that,
this
and
is
then
for fight. This is for fun.
It's so weird. And then now you do have some performances that are like kind of all right, kind of decent. Like then we
John
cut from
Leguizamo.
Well, yes, that's like
the best performance in
one.
the entire movie. The
only
only person that acts like a real human being in the entire fucking movie.
I'm going to say there's one that kind of stuck out to me was at this very next scene after the park. It goes to the construction site.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank God.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say when we cut to Mark Wahlberg as the teacher, I was going to be like, he is the world's worst fucking teacher.
Oh, I've got so many questions for you
We're
about
about
this.
to get there. We're about to be there.
But
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they're
The
in the
construction site workers are really good. Yeah, yeah.
the especially the one guy that's like what? He just fell. He radios it. He's like, get him, get somebody, get an ambulance here. He just fell, and he's just like, give him some room. He's like, he's having a real human moment,
Yeah.
and then it just keeps going, and then he's like, he seems really freaked out, and it's like that's actually a pretty good performance right there.
The visually, the first 10 minutes are really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is where you get the guys falling off of the skyscraper from a downward perspective. That was part of the trailer. It's a really, really well done part. There's a bunch of other cool things happen visually, like at the beginning here, and then we cut to the world's worst biology science teacher. I don't know what kind of fucking science he teaches, but he teaches some kind of. Mark Wahlberg as giving reciting a story about bees.
About bees, they're just disappearing.
I love how he ends it with like, "All right, I want some answers to this question."
Like, is that how? What is this?
No, no. That's not. First off, he's talking too much as a teacher. This would be my critique if I was in the classroom. First off, you're talking too much. Second off, your directions are a little unclear. And third off, maybe don't insult your students directly in front of everybody. Keep that shit behind closed doors.
Oh man, like that whole thing with that kid where he's like, this is really, you gotta understand science because you got a perfect face, but your nose is going to grow every year, and it's going to be, eventually it's, going to outgrow your face.
In my mind, I would like it to be his character from The Departed becomes a science teacher,
Oh.
and that this fucking little asshole Jake, not caring about bees, sends him off, and he just becomes another character. And he's like, "What the fuck, you Jake? You motherfucking piece of shit! Like, how dare you don't care about the bees? You think you're fucking perfect just because you got a good fucking chin?" And then he fucking pistol whips Jake. Becomes a very different movie. That does not happen.
It does not happen. It's just a weird and kind of uncomfortable, and even I'm not even close to a teacher. I mean, I've done some team lead stuff, like where I've taught things to adults, in a workplace, but
I've
instructed, and they feel like teenagers, but they're grown. They are grown adults. But I was just gonna say, there's no way this is how you handle a group of kids. Like, there's no way you handle a high school class.
Not unless they were like a high honors level. If they're like your AP honors level class, maybe you could do that kind of stuff to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has no focused objective with the question.
Yeah,
it's just kind of very loose and open to interpretation.
Like, give me some. I don't know what he was like. I don't know what he was
Your
driving
model would need to be a little bit more set. Things like that. This is all critiques that we get as teachers whenever it's like things that you're like, I think I did everything great. Nah, there's like 100 things you did wrong probably. But yeah, no, he's an absolutely terrible teacher. And then he follows that up with when the vice principal, his fucking boss comes into the classroom. He turns the lights off and then runs and hides like a weird little that would be really obnoxious. I mean, if I was in high school, I would not find that teacher fun. I would be like, this guy's fucking annoying.
Yeah, right? You're like, oh, God.
I don't like that he fucking wants me to fucking solve the bee problem. Like, dude, there's people getting paid millions of dollars that can't fucking solve it. What are you fucking high school asses going to come up with? Give me a fucking A. Get off my back.
Yeah, and a science teacher, a biology teacher, kind of discrediting science.
Thank God he teaches biology. That's plot convenience if I've ever seen it. You know how many different fucking sciences there are, and you just happen to teach the one that becomes relevant later on in the fucking movie?
Sort of.
What if he was a fucking physics teacher?
Oh, yeah, right?
What if he taught fucking gym? Like, he's in there teaching calisthenics. Completely different kind of science.
Well, I think it could have helped because, I mean, I don't think he really does anything with biology. I don't think it really does.
He uses the scientific method later. That's it. All science, even English teachers use the scientific method.
I was about to say.
It's the same fucking thing. You observe, you make a prediction, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he does that later on when he's starts panicking and he's like, I just need a fucking minute.
Science all that is shit, motherfucker.
Science, motherfucker. Yeah. God. Maybe the world's second worst scientist on screen behind Tara Reid, whose science was putting on glasses.
That was it. That was her
Yeah.
biggest scientific.
At least Mark Wahlberg had to memorize a few lines about bees and science and then he talks
But then
to a
he
fern later.
just, I'm so blown away by him just like as a, trying to pass him off as a credible teacher of biology, just discrediting science, just saying like,
No.
they don't understand. It's nature. They don't understand nature. They just put it in a book.
No one understands nature. We just put it in a book, eh? The most unrealistic part of the school part, like I like that the movie focuses on teachers and is not like hey, it's a classroom movie. Like, we're going to be in school, like that.
Yeah.
I've seen enough of those. Like that's fine. I don't need to see that anymore. I like that they just happen to be teachers. Like that's cool. And they just happen to do this. Like in the relationship the two teachers have, I think that's good. Like as teachers, yeah, you do kind of form like little work friendships amongst amongst your colleagues and stuff like that. The most unrealistic part of it as a teacher is when the vice principal comes and takes him out of the classroom, and then she walks with him to the assembly where they have all the other teachers gathered.
Yeah.
In that moment, who the fuck is watching the kids?
Yeah, really.
You can't just leave them alone like that.
No way.
that would never fucking happen.
Because I mean,
Never.
insurance wise has to be a problem, right? Like
Now, oh god, yeah. Now, if it happened now, what would occur is you would get a message in the group chat. That would be like check Slack or whatever app you have to use as a fucking teacher these days. There's so many stupid ones that you have to check the group chat to see what message said, and it would be like, keep the students in the room. We're in a full lockdown, and then you would get relayed information via text. There would not be like a, hey, come on down here, guys. We need to talk in person. That would never occur. And they have cell phones in this time. Now, group chats obviously were not as big of a thing here,
right?
But texting is like Zoe's texting later, and things like that. So obviously, email is around. So these are other ways this information could have been sent out. But it's a plot convenience that you need all of them, and this is the only way we get our Alan Ruck character there.
That's right,
as showing up as the principal. So hey, let the man get some work.
This
is also where John Leguizamo shows up, and he's the best part of the movie, and unfortunately is not in it for nearly long enough.
Here's something I did want to ask also about, like I said, I'm going to have a lot of questions about teaching on this one. And he's a math teacher, and you can tell he's a math teacher is because he keeps talking about statistics and math problems and all of these things. Do teachers kind of embody their subject like that? Is that their thing? Is that the thing about them?
Other than gym teachers always wearing shorts, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you are there any you teach English? Yeah. Is that your whole thing? Are you constantly like, well, if we, like our literature,
the bard? No,
exactly. Like, are you constantly
so saith? No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
And I imagine there's not math teachers that are like, oh, well, statistically this and all this, it's not.
No, most of the time, whenever we're allowed to speak to each other, we're mentally and physically exhausted from working all day. And so it's basically just, hey, okay. And that's it. You don't say usually another word to each other because you're exhausted. And any relationships you form are usually predicated upon like proximity, like the teacher next to you. Maybe you talk to a little bit more them because they like are next to you, or if you happen to have like a team teacher or a co-teacher in that respect, you might talk to them a little bit. Or if you came in with like a big cohort of hires, maybe you'll talk to those people a little bit because like you all kind of got hired together, all did orientation together, things like that. But otherwise, it's kind of a silo type work experience where you're kind of working largely isolated. Like you're not really like you're surrounded by students, but you're in there with them, usually completely alone for 6-7 hours out of your 8-hour day that you're there, however long it is. So you don't really have the opportunity to really interact as much as people think you do. Now some teachers do. Some teachers will like obviously like group together and be like, hey, let's get buddy. That's never been my thing. I kind of treat like, because the weird thing about teaching is, and this is like a thing that 10 years in, it did take me 10 years to realize this. It took me about 2 years to realize this, that once you start teaching at a high school, you're back in high school again. Oh. And that means like how like that with cliques of teachers,
Oh, God.
groups, buddies, people that spread rumors, people that eat lunch in different parts, people that get different benefits, because like it's just like being in high school again.
Oh, wow.
And if you can navigate that as an adult without having a panic attack or that like affecting you, then you can probably be fine at it. And if that's difficult, then like I don't really want to be the cool teacher. I have no interest in doing such things.
Ooh.
I don't volunteer. I treat it like it's a 9 to 5 because it is to me. I clock in, I clock out, I go home. I don't have there's all this like, what's your why, which is like kind of like, why are you doing this? It's like it's a job. If I didn't have this job, I'd be homeless.
There you go.
It's the reality of this capitalism and late stage capitalism. I could go into more. Let's talk about that, but that doesn't really bode well for most staff meetings. So usually it's just kind of like, I like reading and I'm good at it. So thought, hey, do this for a living. It's not like, I tried to be a writer. That didn't work. So it's either this or suck cock. There we go. And speaking of sucking cock, I was just like...
I'm here too. Anyway,
hey, $20 is $20.
I was about to say, speaking of my work,
I do have that old sign that you remember that old sign you made, like if you were on the street. I still have. I was going through all my old pictures on my phone, and I saw that sign that you made.
I forgot
from
about
like
that.
15 years ago.
Yes. Oh God. The things I used to do for attention.
I won't say here what it said, but it was funny, the sign that you made at one point.
Well, I'll say it because it was stupid. Because I wrote it. It was very. Oh God. Did I really think I was that funny?
It was kind of funny.
Well, because I wrote it backwards.
It was 15 years ago. Funny.
I'm so ironic. I wrote.
It was 2010 humor.
What did I write? Why, we'll give food for head or something like?
Yeah, we'll give food for head.
I wrote it backwards.
Yes.
Like,
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
The dumbest panhandler.
It's very funny. I thought it was very funny.
Oh God.
This is what humor was in 2010.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think this is like millennial humor. It's not the thing that other generations I think maybe don't give a shit about.
Yeah,
I learned that whenever I learned that like suicide humor is not a thing that like Gen Zs have. Like,
oh really?
Joking about killing yourself, yeah, they apparently take that shit very seriously.
You probably want to
like,
cut that out,
that's
by
for
the way.
Millennials. That's just like a thing that we do.
You want to probably bleep
just...
those words out, by the way.
It's fine.
Oh,
we'll be fine.
We'll be.
I don't care about such things.
Nice.
Oh, you got to talk about it in this fucking movie. That's literally what they do in the movie.
Oh,
like,
how stupid am I?
Like, we're going to have to record a warning at the beginning anyway. Like, hey, we're going to talk about suicide a lot here. Guess what?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Why did I let that get past me?
You have to understand millennial humor. I mean, we grew up. I was coming into like being like an 8-year-old. Kurt Cobain killed himself. Like,
oh yeah,
Lane Staley killed himself. Like, this has been a reoccurring theme in my life.
Yeah.
It is. He didn't kill himself. I guess heroin overdose. But,
well,
it's an active choice to make there. You
was.
You can get hooked on that stuff. Let's move away from heroin and talk about this bad movie. So the teachers are all called together. And they're told that we're going to dismiss the school, so everyone gets out early. And this is where we learn a little bit about Mark's relationship troubles with Zoe, who's at home. And her version of looking like she's nervous that he's going to find out she's having that she might have had an affair or wants to have an affair is to look like a constipated mouse.
Seriously, like
that was an acting choice. And...
it was so confusing. Like, I was just like, what is she trying to do here? Like, she's
watching the news as like he comes home, and then this is where she literally says, "It makes you want to kill yourself." That's her performance. Okay, thank you. Take. Yep, that's what you get. So they're all going to get on a train, and
because that's what you do.
Yeah.
You suspect a terror attack.
Yes, and this is where people start like dropping like flies because one person will shoot themselves in the head with a gun, and another person will pick up the gun and shoot themselves in the head, and then they'll happen to like walk a convenient number of feet to shoot themselves in the head, to leave the gun for the next person. And this is going to come across as offensive, and I'm sorry. This is where I had to describe millennial humor, because me and my wife were watching this together, and both of us immediately thought of the meme of piece of candy from Family Guy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Except with a gun, because that's what keeps happening. People walk and shoot themselves, and the next person's like, ooh, a gun. Shoots myself. Another person, ooh, a gun. Shoot myself. Another person, ooh, a gun. Shoot myself. And this happens more than once in the movie. And all the times, it's supposed to be like this, man, this is dark and disturbing. The people are like, and that's how the movie wants you to take this. But it takes suicide and makes it kind of as funny as suicide could be.
Kind of goofy, yeah. It's like, and the way that it's happening is just
That's
so...
the most for suicide since MASH. Suicide is painless, so there you go.
Nice. Suicide is silly.
Suicide is silly. That's the Weird Al version. Suicide is silly, and he's a little polka solo right there. It's wacky. Oh God, man. This movie is dumb. So while they're on board the train, this is where John Leguizamo is like giving her some shady shit.
Yeah,
like some real mean girl shit. Is he's just staring at Zoe like, because he knows that they're having issues, and I guess he tells Mark that, like, well, you know, back whenever y'all first got married, I saw her and she was crying. She never wanted to marry you. And, you know, that's a thing you tell your friend at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing you tell your friend at work. It's not like a thing you're like, hey, man, you want to go get some drinks as we talk about this? No, it's just your wife never loves you. And she told me, and I saw it. And I've been lying to you for however many years y'all have been married now.
Yeah, like that's
I'm a good friend.
Oh, God.
And John's wife isn't even here. She stayed behind because she's got to go do something else for some bullshit they keep making up that she's got to go do. Where she's not here with them. Just a plot convenience to have him come back to the city. Because otherwise, what are you going to do to get him out of here? Like,
right.
Oh, God, this movie is... Like, people who think this... People have, like, rediscovered this movie and are like, it's really a smart take. No, it's not.
No.
This movie is really fucking stupid.
I'm kind of curious about this new thing. I've never heard of this, so I'll
have to send you some videos. Send you some videos. Yeah. I'll send you some videos. I like, shameless plug for a different podcast, OSW Review. They do wrestling stuff. I've told you about them.
Yeah, I love them.
They did a video review of The Happening, and they kind of got into a whole debate where one of them really defends it, and the other person's like, it's not very good. And the third guy's like, it's okay. Depending on when I've watched this movie, I'm either it's fine or it's fucking terrible. I will never say this movie is good because it's not. You will never convince me Mark Wahlberg is good in this movie. He's fucking atrocious.
It is awful. It's just his I don't know, like his version of a teacher, like an intellectual, is just higher pitched and talking like this. Like that's his idea of like.
This is how teachers talk.
Like, I guess that's him thinking of like, oh, well, this guy's a teacher. He's an intellectual. He's a softie. He's, you know, because Mark Wahlberg's
teacher's a bitch.
Yeah, like basically that's what it comes off as. Like he is doing his version of like, oh, I'm a little teacher boy. You know, like that's what it feels like. You know.
Yeah, basically.
And you know, because I mean, he's a tough dude. He's a street dude. He's, you know, like.
Yeah. See, if you were directing this movie, you would tell Mark, "Hey, maybe let's try it in a different way. Like let's give the character a different kind of take." No, let's just keep on moving on.
Oh,
which is bizarre to me that this movie was written with him in mind, because in no way does it like anything he had kind of done up to this point.
Not at all.
He was known for doing like crime and action roles, and here he is doing a complete different thing.
Yeah,
I don't know what movie M. Night saw him in and was like, "This is the role." Maybe it was Rockstar. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. I have no idea. I cannot think of a movie. Anyway, so they get on the train, and the idea is that they're going to take the train to get out of town because they're thinking that, you know, the cities are getting attacked because Philadelphia's gotten attacked now. New York has gotten attacked. So the idea is that, like, it's big cities, so let's get to the small towns. Let's get out of here. But the train gets stopped, and this is where we get the famous scene where Mark gets out to figure out why the train has stopped, and we find out that he's lost contact with everyone.
No one's talked to these train personnel at all. They're
Nope.
waiting on the biology teacher to do it. Like,
Yeah, right. And like, why not just keep going until you get to where you were going at that point?
For
Like, no,
real.
let's just stop in the middle of fucking nowhere and let all you people out. And well, good luck to you.
yeah,
You'll figure it out from here, asshole.
like,
And so the only thing that we really skipped over is that Zoe gets pissed that she can clearly tell that John knows something about their relationship because he's been giving her like the mean girl treatment, and so she decides to not sit with them on the train.
Oh, that's right.
With the boys, and while she is sitting alone, she is. This is where you see her exchanging calls to her person that she went and had some tiramisu with. That she mentions that at least 3 times. We just had tiramisu together. That's it. You're really freaking me out with this stalker bullshit.
It's so. I was like, what? Why are we? Did someone just really like the word tiramisu? Also, not gonna lie, I kind of want a tiramisu now.
I had some tiramisu yesterday. It's fucking fantastic.
Oh God, that's like, I mean, that's my biggest weakness. I think right there. Like, if someone, I could probably resist most desserts, but nah, you got a tiramisu or an Italian cream cake. Like, the Italians know how to get me. Like,
It's true. It's true. It's true. Alrighty, so the train stops, and like I said, everyone gets out, and they happen to find this little like restaurant in the town that they can all go hang out in. And that's where Jess is realizing that, she's not feeling very well because mom's not around. So Mark is trying to cheer her up. Well, basically everyone's waiting in line to go to the restroom. And while this happens, the lady next to him shows Mark her phone of what's happening at the zoo, which is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, it's
where we have the zookeeper feed himself to the lions.
This might be one of the funniest things.
This is where he dives into what he did in Signs, where he like references newscasts and like social, like early social media videos. Like that's the thing in Signs. You get some of that. You get some of that here too, except it's like YouTube videos of just like this stupid shit happening, people killing themselves in ridiculous ways. And yeah, there's a guy that feeds himself to the lions. It's really bad CGI.
It's so, and it's, I know it's not played to be funny, but
yeah, but it comes across as funny. It comes across as hilarious, yes.
It's so ridiculous. It's like, you'd have done better if you went full Hitchcock and just didn't show it, you know?
Yeah, just like show, you could literally do a behind shot of the cell phone and like a bunch of people around the cell phone. That's where the camera's focused, right? They're on the people's reactions to the faces.
Yes.
Just like what they're watching. And then you could even do like more visually as they're watching it, the power turns off because that's what happens next.
Yep.
But the phone keeps going because it's connected to the internet, right?
Yeah.
And so now you just have the light from the phone on their faces to give it like a different effect and have them reacting to the video as it's like horrific. And then maybe someone tries to turn it off because a kid's watching and then they can't turn it off. Like you could do all kinds of stuff. Let's just show the video and have it look fucking ridiculous.
Like definitely show him going into a lion's cage or whatever. Yeah. But then everything after that just some sound effects and that's it. Like,
yeah. That's all you need. It's all you would need. A much better
sound
presentation.
Effects and reaction shots. That's it.
Instead, we don't get that. We get the little video, which looks stupid as hell. And this is when the diner loses power. Yes. And everyone scattered, like literally, even though the train of people, no one had cars because they weren't from here. They all got dropped off here. Yet somehow everyone gets a ride within about 10 seconds as soon as the power goes out. Yeah. Except for Mark and, they don't get a ride at first. They have to struggle for one for a minute.
That's right. Well, I think, was it here where they split?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So one group is going back into town to go pick up anything that they left behind. John's going to go with them because he thinks his wife is no longer answering. She's not answering her phone calls, her texts, or her emails. He mentions emails, which I would have to guess would be like your last form of trying to contact somebody.
Yeah, really. Like
I don't know how that would work. Like she's not answering her emails, Mark. I hope you were having a good day today. Comma. Sorry, the rest of your day is going to be fucked. Yeah. So John's going to go back.
As per my last email.
As per my last email, please answer your fucking phone. Are you alive? God. So yeah, he's going back into town, and Mark and Zoe get picked up by a farmer who's going to go pick up some supplies and food.
What was her name? Alma?
Alma, yeah,
Alma.
yeah,
I was going to
Alma.
say it was
Yeah.
some kind of
It's
wacky
indie
name.
dream girl name. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so John wants them to take Jess, his daughter, with them because he doesn't want to take her back into the city. And so this is like a big emotional scene, or it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
but instead it's just kind of dumb.
It's
But
kind
this
of
is
a
also
dumb.
where we kind of get to say goodbye to John Leguizamo because he's only going to be in the movie for like 10 more minutes,
Yeah.
which means
And-
the movie's only going to be kind of good for about 10 more minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to go downhill real fast. Strap in, folks.
See, and I think this is a thing that I don't know if this is just in this movie or if I'm remembering this from other M. Night movies. His characters are all very one-dimensional. They're a cardboard cutout. They have one thing, and they're going to be that thing constantly. Like,
Pretty much, yeah.
and that's why you have Mark Wahlberg is the biology teacher, and that's what he is, and that's all he is.
That's all
John
he is.
Leguizamo's the math teacher. That's what he is. That's all he is.
He's going to die by it, goddammit, pretty
Yes,
soon.
Exactly. Zoe's really into tiramisu, I guess. Like, that's her thing. And the hot dog guy's really into hot dogs.
I was about to
Like,
say, we're about to get to the hot dog guys. 'Cause,
Yes.
like, so Mark gets picked up. Mark and Alma and Jess get picked up by this farmer dude. He's going back into his farm to get some shit.
Yep.
And as soon as he gets there, he goes on this long, nonsensical conversation about hot dogs.
yeah.
Y'all like hot dogs, right?
It's
Full of
so
protein,
weird.
fun shapes,
Because you can almost
portable.
It's so good. And also, by the way, regular hot dogs, not that much protein. It's a lot of filler. You got to get the all beef.
Yeah, I
If
was
you-
gonna say I love a good all beef hot dog.
Oh,
Other
yeah.
than that, I don't want your fucking shitty ass
Oh no,
bar ass
It's like bar
goddamn.
ass.
Yeah, get that shit away from me.
That
I'm
has
good, I'll
like
pass.
maybe 2 grams of protein.
It's like just
not
fucking
healthy.
cook a bologna sandwich. It's the
It
same
may
shit.
as well- I was gonna say it may as well just be sawdust. Wet sawdust.
You don't like that wet sawdust dog, boy?
Oh, I kind of grossed myself out there.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And people are going to be like, bar S's are good if you put like this and I'm sure everything's good if you put enough relish on it.
Exactly.
Like, that's fine, but like I'm talking about like just a fucking hot dog and mustard.
I'm
You
42,
got to have like an all beef.
or I'm about to be 42. I got to think about my macros, and I'm not hitting macros with bar S. It's not happening. So,
Yeah.
But, oh,
So he goes on this long rant about hot dogs. Which
yeah, and
is
it's weirdly
stupid.
interspersed because it's like he's 2 different characters, but they play like they just cast the one guy because he's like, yeah, you got to talk to the plants. They respond to human stimuli. You like, you like hot dogs, and also
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
and then he says some more things like they communicate with each other. Hot dogs are
That's-
great because they're
I was
it's
gonna
like-
say, yeah, his only other purpose in the movie, what I was about to say, was like is to set up the fact that you can talk to plants.
yeah,
That's it. That's it.
and yeah,
You might
see,
as well have just had Mark Wahlberg find a Plantasia record from the 60s and was like, people used to play music to plants, huh? Son of a
Yes.
bitch. And just like that would have done the exact same thing. And then you wouldn't
Yes.
have had this stupid conversation about fucking hot dogs. Anyway,
it's so- oh god,
so while that's happening, John is dealing with the problems of owning an old Jeep as the ride he's going with has a tear in it, which is letting in air as the person in the back starts to have a panic attack. He tries to calm her by giving her math riddles
honestly,
until he realizes that they're going to die.
as a person that suffers from very bad anxiety and is very math deficient, I definitely call myself that. If somebody was to,
Dyscalculia.
oh
That's the term.
yes, that as a word person, I like that. But the oh, I get it, like dyslexia, but just okay, I get it. The God, that's such a good word. It distracted the hell out of me. See, I'm a words guy. I like words. But which is why I work with taxes. Anyway, but if someone was like, if I was really keyed up and having a really bad time, and someone was like, do a math problem, be like, I have a new problem. I want to kill you. Like,
Solve for X. Is this not helping? Is this not helping you? Why is this not helping you?
you'd be like, oh God, like this is a bigger anxiety for me. Like this is a bigger problem. Like I can't wrap my head around math when I'm doing when I'm really calm. Like
It's like, yeah, before I was suffering from a panic attack. Now I'm also having PTSD. Thank you.
Right?
Now we're being reminded of high school math classes and being asked on the spot by teachers how to solve for this problem, and clearly have not been paying attention for the last 20 minutes.
You'd be like, I've been
Just
drawing
like,
and
y equals 9 equals 9, Matthew. Yes. Can you explain why? No.
Nope. 9, which is German for no.
Exactly. Like 9
extra points.
There you go. No.
Like,
so this surprisingly doesn't end well, as the Jeep crashes headfirst into a pole, and I guess everyone inside is dead, or goes flying through the window.
Yeah.
Other than John Leguizamo, who just kind of gets out and finds some broken glass and sits down in the middle of the road and slices his wrists.
Oh God.
And that's him gone.
And that's the best character / actor in the movie gone.
Yeah, that was it. There's him. So yeah, that is it's gonna kind of be shitty. So now what's gonna happen is Mark Wahlberg and Alma, Zoe Deschanel, and Jess, John Leguizamo's daughter, are now in this car with the farmer and his wife as they are traveling down the country roads, and they run into the. Yeah, they run into an army guy who has left his base because everyone there is dead, and cheese and crackers. Yeah, very silly. That's what he says here, cheese and crackers. As they begin to piece together what's happening, as a bunch of other cars are all meeting at this crossroads where Robert Johnson is not, but instead they're having a conversation about what to do next. And they're all just staying here. And for some reason, this is clearly not made in 2025 because they all decide to just listen to this very clearly in over his head Army Ranger who says no one's allowed to leave, as opposed to what would happen now, which is like that guy would be clearly ignored or hung up to die within minutes of telling everyone they can't go anywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
Like...
No, that wouldn't pass these days. No. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
So they all decide to just chill as Mark begins to overact his ass off during the whole cell phone scene where he interrupts a woman talking to her daughter just to ask questions about Princeton while she's on the phone.
Yeah.
Just in the middle, just interrupting her conversation. Like, ask about Princeton. Everyone's dead. Thank you. Like,
yeah. And now
tell her to close the window. Like, what? Like, immediately, immediately what would happen is that lady should look at Mark and be like, I'm on the fucking phone with my daughter. What are you talking about closing windows?
Like, dude.
He's like, tell her to close the window. He's like, no. Just walks away from him. No, instead she humors him and she's like, honey, close the window.
And then she starts, what does she say? Something about Princeton. She just says, she's like,
something about, she says calculus.
Oh, that's right.
Calculus. Over and over and over again. Like, and then she runs and jumps through the window and she dies, presumably. And the mother is crying and Mark grabs the phone and just looks at it like, huh? I'm so puzzled. What could this be?
Is there a little person in there talking? Like, we got to get her out of there.
So they all agree that this is happening to high population areas, so they're going to go to low population areas. Mm-hmm. It just so happens to be a real estate guy in the crowd who tells them there's a small town that's not on any map.
It's not on any map.
I don't know how the fuck he knows about it, but apparently, I guess he works for the company that's designing the model homes out there, because that's where they're going to go next, is go to, like, model homes. But upon the way of getting there, well, we need a bunch of people to die, because we got way too many fucking people in this movie.
Yep.
So everybody with the Ranger, he starts doing, this is my pistol, this is my gun, this is for fighting, this is for fun, and he kills himself. And then everyone else starts also grabbing the gun and joining it. And this is where Mark's group is further away from them.
Yes.
And everyone hears the gunshots, and this is where we get everyone's favorite scene from the movie of everyone looking at Mark Wahlberg being befuddled as he attempts to figure out what to do, where everyone in this group looks to him as the leader for some reason.
For some reason.
No idea why.
He has no leadership quality to him. I mean, he doesn't do anything.
At no point do we get to, like, anyone to say, like, oh, well, Mark's going to be in charge of that group. He's the de facto leader, and everyone's just like, they're killing themselves, what should we do? He's like, I don't know, just need a second. I don't want to
like,
be one of those assholes who sits by and doesn't do anything.
We're not
assholes. It's
I was like, what, that's your take on, that's the problem here? Like,
you're gonna go run over there to what's clearly like some kind of neurological event and just like get yourself killed. Like, okay, good.
Like,
That's gonna help a lot.
It's like, I just need a second. I just need a second to
fucking
think.
second.
Why won't anybody give me a goddamn second to think? And then he says,
"Oh Lord!"
like
he just starts doing the scientific experiment where he's like, "All
Look at
right,
the variables.
develop a hypothesis. Look at variables.
Oh my god!
Eliminate them."
I was like, come on, man.
He's like, "Okay, so I think what we got to do is we got to go away from the wind."
So
that's what they do. They start walking and try to stay downwind and break into smaller groups. And lo and behold, Mark's group is mostly him and a bunch of kids. So we kind of get the whole teacher thing going on again.
So
Which is like, they could have just included a scene where like they were like, oh, we have all these kids who don't have any parents. We need someone to take care of them. And Mark could have been like, oh, I'm a teacher. I'll take care of them. That's it. Something to explain why the fuck he's in charge of this little group. Because no one else ever explains why he's in charge. That's all they would need. It's just one scene, just 30 seconds to explain what he's doing with all these kids and why he's the one being looked upon to like make some kind of definitive decision here on as to what to do.
I mean, and now they have a very Bob Seger issue, or is it Bruce Springsteen? I always get this one mixed up, where it's now them against the wind. I apologize.
Oh Lord! So this is where we get more and more of like they mention something is happening. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
I do like that they drop it in a lot. It's very B movie of him.
Oh
like,
God, yes.
It's very very B movie. Oh, yeah. So Mark does the scientific process, and they figure out they need to stay downwind, like we talked about.
Yeah, he's like,
this is when they find a house that they need to stop in to use the bathroom, and so they decide to. Okay, so they get to this house and they think it's abandoned and they realize there's someone's in the house, and the kids, the two boys who have taken Jess as like their kind of like surrogate little sister.
Yeah,
which we don't really get a lot of that information. Like I could see two teenage boys doing that. Like I could, like, having worked with teenagers, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
I could see these two boys being like, hey, that's like our little sister. No one's going to fuck with her. Like, okay, this traumatizing event is happening. Got it. She's clearly scared. Y'all are going to like be the big brothers. Cool. But then they take that as like an aggro level when they get to this house, because there's clearly somebody in there and they do not want them to come in. And Mark is trying to convince them that they're all good out here. We're out here. We're fine.
Yeah, we're out
Mississippi
here,
Moon, what you keep on moving. Like, he does his whole little like goddamn stupid song.
I was like, what the fuck's happening? Am I having is something happening to me? Like,
this is step one. You start singing ridiculous things here.
I was like,
right?
If you're trying to convince anybody that you're not having a neurological disorder, that's not the way to do it. Like, what normal?
And the people's reaction is like, you're not from around here. Clearly, they're not from a fucking around here. So they want them to go away, and the boys are just not having this. So they start kicking down the doors, which results in both of them getting just fucking point blank shotgun shot to the head and to the chest. It is. It's the most brutal part of the movie. It is. I don't want to say gratuitous because it's not filmed gratuitously. Like you get to see some blood, but it's not like as gory as it could have been.
No.
Given that this is an R-rated movie, you could have gone full like gore fest with it.
I mean, they did with the lions.
They do, yeah. But it's just the reason that it happens is kind of stupid. We don't get enough time to spend with these kids for this really to matter. Yeah. Like, this is just kind of like an inconsequential thing in the grand scheme of the movie. It doesn't profoundly change anyone. It's not like a big, we have too many people. We need to have these kids die so that way we can get it back down to 3. Yeah. That's it. That's kind of it. Like, it's just kind of unnecessary. It doesn't really, like, all the emotional, like, all the pathos it tries to play off of, it doesn't really deserve them, and it doesn't really earn it. So it just kind of is like, all right, well, that was just kind of cruel and unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put that. Because
Jess is going to be horribly traumatized now, even more than she already was. Like, Jesus Christ. She just saw 2 of her best friends, newest friends, just shot to death in front of her. Her dad's dead. Her mom's dead. She's got these 2 fucking schmucks to take care of her. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ, that girl's going to need some fucking therapy.
She's also, like, the Zooey Deschanel character, Alma, is basically on the same emotional level as her. In fact, I think they actually connect those 2 because they talk about like, oh, I don't like to show my emotions either, or something like that.
Yes, yeah. She keeps saying, "It's okay, Jess. I don't show my emotions either." And that's the thing is like she's like it's she doesn't show Mark that she loves him. She doesn't really ever make him feel loved.
No.
Right? It's like yeah, who gives a shit?
Right.
These two do not look like they would ever be a couple.
Not
Like
at all.
just complete opposites. They would never date, let alone be married or any like. It's just the whole thing was just two of the most uncompatible people ever in a movie. And this is where I was like, had this movie been cast differently, like keep John Leguizamo, change the two leads, I think you would have a completely different movie.
Oh yeah.
Completely different.
Imagine if we had John Leguizamo as like the lead.
That would be great.
I think that would work.
Let's make it a gay. Let's make it let's turn this into a gay movie with him and Clifton Collins Jr. I'm making my movie. And they are a gay couple who've adopted a daughter. They're both teachers at the school. They're trying to get through the happening. There you go. There's a better movie. There's my movie.
Better movie.
There's a movie. Okay, so we get more problems. We get more scenes of Mark and Zoe being a problematic couple as now that they're walking with Jess away from this goddamn fucking disaster of a house. And this is where we get into like the little second, third half of the movie, the final act, so to say.
Yeah.
Where they get to this old lady's house who basically refuses to not let them stay. She kind of is like, "You're staying. I want you to stay.
I have to let you stay, or I have to be like." And I guess she's so backwoods. She's so isolated. She doesn't have radio. She doesn't have anything. She grows her own food.
I see you eyeing my lemon tree, boy. That's what she says. That's what she says to him.
Oh,
I
God.
see you eyeing my lemon tree.
I'm like, God, I hope that's not a euphemism.
Oh Lord, this whole crazy lady, she lets them stay with them. She makes them eat dinner with her. And she accuses them of all kinds of crazy shit the night they stay. And then the next morning she goes and basically gets killed.
It's all of a sudden
she walks outside and dies after she
apparently was not very good with plants at all.
Apparently not. They wanted her dead. They were waiting to kill her as much as possible.
And this whole time they're just again, if you'll allow me another song reference, they're trying to catch the wind. No, it doesn't work. Christ. Little Donovan there.
Oh Lord, but nothing wrong with Little Donovan. So Mark sees her die, and she breaks
the window too. So like now she breaks all
the windows. So now the air's coming into his area, and he has to go hide. But he can't warn Zoe and Jess, but they happen to be out in the garden, and there happens to be a talk tube between where he's at and the garden, so he can tell her to close the windows.
Yep.
They do, and then they both think they're going to die alone, and they both have this whole little emotional like reconciliation. Yeah. And then they decide to go walk outside together
with the child.
With the child, they're all going to die. Yeah. Fuck it, we're all dying together, I guess.
And I guess they made that decision for her too. Like, all right.
Fuck it, she doesn't get a choice.
Yeah,
you're 8. You're ready to die, right? You've had a good, solid 7 years. You're good. That's enough.
That's enough.
Kids had enough time. So yeah, they all decide like they're basically just going to go out into the field and embrace the wind together. Nice. Catch the spirit and catch the wind. But instead, as soon as they go out there, the wind is happening, but it doesn't do anything to them.
Yeah.
And they find out that just minutes before it stopped, and they don't know why it stopped. Science can't explain these things.
Science can't explain these things, and they keep telling us that with the news people, like they're gonna say what there's all these things they're gonna say, but it's just nature is unknowable or something. It's like, no scientist would say this. Like,
so they're alive together, and the movie cuts to 3 months later, and this is how I can tell you that Mark and Zoe are terrible fucking parents.
Yeah,
it's 3 months, and school is back in session. And what's that little traumatized Jess who has lost 5 people in front of her very eyes and heard the countless suicides of others and seen so much carnage in just the last few months? What are they making her do? Send your ass to fucking school and make friends, you little asshole.
Yeah. it's time for you to get back into the world. Like, you've
Oh,
had enough.
it's okay. If you have a trauma attack at school, here's a picture of your parents in your backpack.
A
I'm sure the
framed
kids won't be
picture.
cruel about that at all.
Like,
What the fuck? And then they walk her to the bus stop. They won't even fucking drive the kid?
I mean, could you imagine going through all of that and then having...
If you go through all that, your ass is homeschooled from life after that.
Oh, absolutely. You're not
Like,
going
you're
out of my
homeschooled.
sight. Like,
Yeah. I feel
there's
like
no
that's
way.
a fine. I feel like that's a fine thing to have. Like, yeah, that's homeschool worthy.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
No,
like, I
instead
don't-
they send her to school.
yeah. It's like, all right, it's only, it's been long enough, damn it. Like,
Oh God! And then
Like-
we end the movie by Mark finding out Zoe's pregnant, and yay,
oh boy.
they're gonna have another kid. Great.
Yeah.
Their marriage is definitely going to improve now.
Yeah,
Nothing improves a marriage like having a child.
they...
Nothing improves a failing marriage like having a child.
and they
Oh,
could
God.
name it tiramisu.
Tiramisu. God damn it. The movie ends by us finding out that this is also happening in France. And this is where we get, hey, it's a pre-apocalyptic movie. This is just a prelude, as the scientists say.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again and happen everywhere. And
Oh,
here it is.
God.
The happening is happening in
It's-
France. And I
for-
guess other places
For
eventually.
some reason, France is the next place. Like, what?
I
What
don't
plant
know.
is doing this? Like,
I think it's the wind. Is it the wind or is it plants or is it with the wind cultivating the plants?
I think it's
Like,
the wind
is it just
carrying the plant. Oh, it's just nature. You can't know it. You can't know
It's true.
the answer. It's nature.
You never know the answer because I couldn't be bothered to write it down whenever I was making this script. So that's why you'll never know the answer because I didn't have one.
I consulted
Oh,
0
God.
scientists.
So movie thoughts and a big takeaway we can take to our soon-to-be World War III probably landscape here.
Oh, God.
Any big takeaways and final thoughts on the movie? Go ahead.
So, I'd say my takeaway on this one. Oh God, what would I even take away from this? Fucking don't be weird about eating tiramisu. I guess like we don't have much time left. Like just eat the fucking tiramisu. I don't know why that bugs me so much, but like if you went and ate dessert with someone, it's not like, I don't know. I mean, sure you can feel guilty, be like, oh man, I lied about that, but I don't know why I did that or something. But this whole weird emotional thing they did with it. Sorry. Kind of ties into my views on it. This movie it's not the worst movie. We've definitely seen worse movies, but
Oh yeah, we have.
God, is this movie just, I don't know, like you have to stop thinking because it's just going to piss you off the whole time. And it's just like,
Yeah.
why is the choices they're making? And that's the main issue with it, is the choices they're making. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's like, well, now why are you doing that? Like, why are you saying that? Why are you even, why is this happening?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no. There's a lot of that, yeah.
oh yeah. I think that was the thing. The whole time with the movie, why is this movie happening?
I like it. My thoughts on the movie is it is somewhere between so bad it's good and just kind of like middling. If it wants to be, if he set out to make like a so bad it's good B movie, like it was his intention, I think you failed. M. Night, I think you made just kind of a boring middling movie. If that was your goal, to make a goofy, silly, so bad it's good B movie, you could have lent it more in that direction. I don't think that was your intent, though. I feel like that was a backtrack in editing to fix what otherwise would have come across as a overtly self-serious movie that is just really up its own ass and bad. As a bad movie, there's some fun to be had in the performances because they're goofy as shit. But you don't need to watch the whole 90 minutes of this movie. You could easily just watch like the clips of Mark Wahlberg, those like 5 or 6 scenes, and those couple of scenes of Zoe and their like whole little goofiness, and that tells you everything you need to know about the movie. Like that's it. That's pretty much it.
And the lady.
Yeah.
And
And the hot dog guy. Yeah. There's some goofy shit, but in terms of it being like a big takeaway that we can take into our lives, I did like yours. Just eat the fucking tiramisu. I'm gonna go with that too. Yeah, just eat fucking tiramisu. That's the big takeaway from this movie. Eat more tiramisu.
And
So
don't
that's
lie
what we're
about
gonna.
eating tiramisu. I'm going to eat tiramisu with every fucking person I meet. And if anybody doesn't like it, God damn it.
Get very confrontational. We're taking
I'd be like, that's right.
tiramisu. God damn it.
I'm eating a fucking tiramisu. I don't even know this person. I just met him. And I'm going to eat a tiramisu with him?
Also, if you're listening, send us tiramisu. Right?
Yeah, right.
There you
Seriously.
go. Good way to say hello to someone. Here's some tiramisu. Like, oh shit.
My new band is Tiramisu with Strangers.
I honestly thought you were going to say Terra, like Terror Masu.
Tiramisu.
And turn it into like a hardcore band, like Terror
Oh my
Masu.
God. Oh, that's such a better idea, and I am pissed that I let it slip by.
So you're usually the pun dude there.
I know, right? Oh God. Oh,
Speaking
I'm
of
pissed at
puns,
myself.
let's end tonight's episode and sign off for next week. We'll talk about Rollerblade from 1986, another movie that is we have featured now in our little trailers several times. So if you've ever wondered where all the clips of people rollerblading are from, now you're gonna know what that movie's from. Here we go. We'll see that movie next week, and see you guys next week too. See ya.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Bye. Hot damn, college boy. Thank you so much for listening. Every single week we come back with a new movie about the end of the world, or a movie about the beginning of the end of the world, or what happens after the end of the world, or maybe one day we just decide to watch Showgirls. Who knows? Right? But every week we are coming back, and thank you so much for stopping in this week and listening to the whole episode and hearing our thoughts on whatever train wreck of a movie I chose to force my friend to watch this week. I'm a good person like that. And thank you for also being a good person. There you go. If you want to be a really, really fucking cool person, which you obviously are, why don't you give us a like, and actually, more importantly, give us a subscribe. I find that to be more important. I don't know if the algorithm says it is. I don't really give a shit. But thank you for your patronage either way, and clicking all the things and doing all the stuff. Bye. Thanks.